For well over a century, American school children have been required to attend at least some elementary school. Initially, that occurred in a building like the one behind me, a one-room schoolhouse. Over the decades, education has seen great change. From segregation of schools through lawsuits and desegregation of schools, to an emphasis on testing, and more recently, to planting the seeds of technological innovation that continue to impact lives as well as teaching and learning. We've moved from rows of school desks facing the front of the room to cooperative learning groups and flexible seating. We no longer have students standing in a corner or writing sentences on a chalkboard, but we use much more positive classroom management techniques. And we don't use typewriters and whiteout, Google that, but we use apps on our iPads.
That video message was filmed for future teachers shortly after COVID-19 hit and disrupted school and everything as we knew it. Hello, I'm Debbie Mercer, Dean of the College of Education at Kansas State University, and we appreciate the opportunity to share how we and our professional development school partners enhanced student learning, supported pre-service teachers, learned and grew professionally together, and even how we collaboratively faced the pandemic. Yes, COVID-19 caused a torrent of upheaval, but for those of us in education, it also presented golden opportunities to be even bolder and more innovative in our approaches. And we took those opportunities because we are stronger together. We'll address 3 initiatives that demonstrate our core partnership mission. First is our Summer STEM Institute and the synergy created between our faculty, pre-service teachers, and our PDS partners. Next is how action research helped teachers analyze and apply knowledge in their classrooms. And finally is a virtual teacher collaboration, a creative solution for an out-of-state student's field service placement that was so successful it laid the groundwork for a USDA grant to further the work. We appreciate this opportunity to showcase these impactful initiatives. And now, Seth, who has perspectives on our Manhattan-Ogden School's Summer STEM Institute as a pre-service teacher and now a PDS partner.
Yeah, so the STEM partnership that K-State has with the school district is where teachers from the district can come to K-State over the summer to do like a mini camp for the students over different STEM activities. And so they have K-State professors who are teaching the groups that work with practicum students in their Block A experience. And then they also have USC 383 teachers come in to teach those classes, and students get to rotate through the classes that are offered. And what I did was I was in a Rube Goldberg group with some local teachers. So we did Rube Goldberg machines. We talked about simple machines and the levers and the pulleys and all that goes into that, and helping them work on that engineering mindset of how can I build this, what can I build, and trying to come up with something new and creative. And we actually used recycled materials for the entire machines. And so we were able to tie all of those different pieces into it with our small group of practicum students. So we would watch the teachers teach it, and then we would start to slowly take over teaching the content with our small groups of kids that we rotated through every week.
These 2 students were talking about their experience here at the program. They said, I'd never been on the Kansas State University campus before. And that student said, I think I could do this. I think I could be a college student. These are students from right here in Manhattan.
What I liked about the Summer STEM Institute as an experience is that it shows teaching not as how we would typically perceive teaching. It is integrated, it is hands-on, it is creative. It's not a traditional sit in the classroom, take notes, do this, follow these rules. It really lets the kids explore something outside of what that typical classroom model looks like. This gives the teachers the opportunity to push themselves and to come up with something creative to do, and welcomes in the pre-service teachers to see that creativity and consider how that could impact the future students in their classrooms and how they could bring those opportunities in or connect students with similar opportunities over the summer in their local districts.
I love to see the interaction between the middle school students, our students, and exemplary teachers from the school district.
What I love about the partnerships between K-State and USD 383 is that it doesn't just foster leadership in the traditional sense of these are the classroom placements. We work together hand in hand, and we're so familiar. We've developed those relationships. We know each other, we've networked, and so we can connect students with other teachers. We can connect students with those experiences. And so that partnership has really solidified that there is a larger community of teachers, of professionals, of scholars that can connect with one another.
A larger community of teachers, of professionals, of scholars that can connect with one another. That speaks to the culture we intentionally cultivate every day at K-State. Cumbersome paperwork became a treasure trove of data for one teacher who embraced formal action research and proudly reported it, made her a better educator, and it turns out, a cited researcher too. Here's Cynthia's story.
If I told first-year teacher Cynthia that I was going to one day have a Google Scholar profile and an ORCID ID number and be on LinkedIn, I don't think I would have believed myself. Our partnership with K-State has strengthened the teaching staff in USD 383 in a lot of ways. The one I'm most closely tied to is action research. We developed an action research cohort. We recruited Suzanne Parath from K-State to support our teachers through that process. As teachers, we're constantly doing action research informally in classrooms. Action research is really important for teachers to complete because it shows that they are lifelong learners. They're willing to change their practices and grow in ways that maybe wouldn't have happened had they not embarked on action research. In traditional PD, there's an assigned topic. You go, you sit, you get the information, and then you leave. With action research, you're actually applying the things that you're learning. You're not just taking it and then forgetting about it as soon as you enter your classroom realm. Before I started my action research project, I was very anxious and nervous because I had read action research articles in the past, and it seemed really daunting and kind of difficult. I think one thing this process of using the IRB and all of the paperwork that we were forced to do as part of the district did for teachers was it helped them look at what they're doing in a more analytical, strategic way. They were able to identify what is the purpose, why am I doing this research, this formal research now, and what is my question, what am I trying to solve? Going through action research has pushed me to grow as an educator, and I know it has pushed our other participants to grow as educators. In our first year, we had a dozen participants and about 6 projects. The poster session at K-State was great. It was nice to see a culmination of the work we had been doing for the entire year. Presenting at the symposium for NAPDS was a little nerve-wracking. It was the first time I had done that. But it was great. It was great to see our teachers take that next step. Several of those projects were then published through NAPDS, embarking on action research as an instructional coach. I was able to produce more research. So not only was I doing action research, I was then publishing it, and I've been cited a few times. It's crazy.
Several of those projects were then published through NAPDS. Think of the ripple effect and the impact of this one aspect of a PDS partnership. They say necessity is the mother of invention, and when we had an out-of-state student who needed a field placement, it became necessary to invent a solution. So we turned to a PDS partner. With the magic of technology, well, you'll see.
As coordinator of field experiences, I get to work with different districts and different teachers to facilitate field experiences for the students in the College of Ed. I always say there's a lot of moving parts to making placement. You need to have a teacher that meets the requirements. You have to find a district to host our students, and we can agree to mutual terms of what that experience should be like. We have someone here who is meant to be a teacher. She has done such a phenomenal job in the program. So what can we do to help her on this journey? You know, we're always told to be bold. So it just started as a spark. You know, Dr. Goodson's like, well, what if we were to do something virtually? And we didn't even know at that moment what that looked like.
Mr. Weller had come to me and asked if I would be willing, and I wasn't really sure how it was going to work, but I like to jump into things and I really like technology, and I think it's a great experience for the students.
So we understood their reservations going into it. One of the big hesitations was, well, how would she manage a classroom? The truth of the matter is, there is a lot that goes on when you're physically there with students and managing a classroom and managing behaviors. It wasn't just something that's never been done. There was enough of a base there that we felt like it was something we could pursue. So the first time it was really neat. She was working with a small reading group, and it was clear by that point that her and her cooperating teacher had already started to build a rapport. They had to co-teach, and there was this natural interaction. Clearly, it wasn't what we had gone in thinking this is what every student teaching experience should be like. But it does give us a way of facilitating a field experience for teachers who cannot physically be there and can still be an asset to a classroom.
Just to see how great teachers ran them and how they interacted with their students. They really helped make the experience a good one.
Can't physically be there, but can still be an asset to a classroom? Exactly. There are innovative ways. PDS is the intersection where committed and inspired educators meet the possibilities of this profession. Our faculty and pre-service teachers, along with our PDS partner schools and their students, have all benefited from the synergy and relationships we've built in good times and in challenging ones. And that's because we are stronger together.